It's called International Men's Health Month. I don't know if many of you guys knew about it, but
Yeah, I did.
you
I
guys,
found out.
right? Why? Why is that? Maybe that could be a good starting point for us. There's such initiatives that already are well run on an international scale, but we don't even know about these things. It's like it's just business as usual.
Rolling.
So, my faith, I would like to bring it to us now. From the global statistics, we can all see the suicide rates are super high, pertaining men in particular. And this comes from a lot of reasons. It comes from a lot of things that men are battling in isolation. And yet you find where men are the same people we always hanging out in groups. We're always going out, having drinks with one another, playing football. And yet when you go back to the confinement of your own place, there's these things that you're battling. So I'd like to know from you, Pilar, if you can just take us through your thoughts about it. What do you think really causes men to causes us as men to battle, even though we do have people around us? And now, what is causing us to fight these battles and demons in isolation?
Well, I think well, this is a great opportunity, yeah, and I think it's such a great initiative. But we're looking at the theme and the topic today. I think one of the things are just the challenges around our society. As a guy and a man growing up in the society, you facing a lot of challenges, and there is a lack of support structures in a way that you face these challenges, and firstly you do not even have solutions for many challenges. Yeah, challenges from let's say finance, like career, even like relationships, families, and everything. And as a man or a guy, you are expected to rise above those challenges and stand upright, of which usually or sometimes it's really really difficult, and people really struggle. You know, so yeah.
What do you think is the reason for us not to find that ability to open up to one another? Even though I have friends, does it does it mean I don't know, guys. Yeah, maybe you can tell
Yeah.
us. Is it the vulnerability making me feel like I'm weak if I'm sharing it with my friends, or there's something in your basis of it? I can
You can
just
speak
reach
to
out to say
someone.
if it, yep,
Yeah.
like everything, high by sharp,
Yeah.
without me feeling like I'm losing my streak.
And most of the time we are too shy to actually say what the
Yeah.
problem is.
Exactly. Exactly.
The other time I found you in the kitchen saying someone asked you how are you,
Yeah.
and then you said, okay, actually said like no one wants to listen to that.
Absolutely. That was a profound moment.
No one actually wants to listen to how are you.
That was a profound moment.
If I say how are you, like I'm great, James.
Yeah.
Are you great though? Probably not, but maybe for that 2 seconds you were, and then you told me, and I'm just gonna walk away. I'm also facing my own demons that are not
Yeah.
making me okay, right? So if we just take whatever it is that's not making you okay, we're not gonna solve every problem out there.
That's true.
If we solve that little problem that's troubling you for that time, and then you're gonna be okay for that time. But then how do we prolong uh, your okayness? To say, if it's financial, how do you help yourself and then overcome that financial struggle? Or how do you overcome? Yeah, how do you cope with the? Because we all know, say, the financial stress is saying, "Hey, ngabambi lotho ntwana."
Yeah.
Ngayibambi lotho,
Things
But
could
then,
change.
if you do, now you have another problem. You need to pay tax, right? It's still financial stress.
Yeah.
Now you need to do whatever you needed to
Yeah.
do with that money.
And your family has expanded 10 times.
Yes.
Also, they are there.
You get your long
New
lost
cousins.
cousins, you get your long lost
Yes.
fathers and mothers, and
So essentially,
every
what you're saying is, in us thinking, maybe the issue is not having enough money.
yeah.
Um,
get a way
The problem
around
is
it.
bigger than that.
It is. It's always
Also,
bigger than that.
if you get the money, build the right, I guess, foundation.
Yeah.
For first, managing money well.
Yeah.
Address the right or the right problems
Yeah.
instead of just focusing on things that maybe are not the solutions.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that is important. And on the part your money, I think Pilar touched on a very important thing to say. We know for so long, but our work as men in society,
Yeah.
you are the provider.
Yeah.
You know, we've been socialized and grew up naturally believing, and it's very instinctive. And then I can attest to it. You know, it feels natural for me to want to be the provider. But judging by how culture has evolved, women have gained the economical empowerment in these days.
They provide.
They
Yeah.
provide now,
Yeah.
right? So now, what gets excuse me, what gets to describe me, or what gets to be the sense of worth? Where do I attach my sense of worth as a man in today's society? I'd like to throw it out there, but let's start with hearing from you.
Yeah, that one is tricky because no, even in first world countries where their economies are matured and very diverse, and let's take the United States or Europe for instance. A lot of relationships and men, they find it better to date outside of their societies because they find those societies more tradi- more traditional, and what do you call this when a woman yes,
Yeah,
they
Submission.
submit better, so that makes them feel like they are men,
Okay.
back again. Whereas in America, you find that women are very competitive, and so they've developed muscular traits.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
independent.
Yeah, so as men, it's really really difficult.
So if you contextualize it, because now, as you say, I'm assuming we can all agree for it. US is setting the precedence, yeah, the trend thing. And already we're seeing that corporate wise, ladies are killing it.
Yeah, and
You
they are
look at
doing
the
much better than
statistics.
guys actually. Like
Exactly.
I remember when I graduated university 2016,
Exactly.
66%
It was ladies.
were women,
Yeah.
33.
Wow.
Like in our class, like the whole graduation ceremony, like
66%.
66% choose
Your place.
your purpose or your place. Even in a relationship, even at home, sometimes you find that a lot of men, when they lose their jobs, that's when they go into depression, and yeah, because you feel like you now are useless.
Yeah.
So now, I think the question here becomes about it: is it the right mentality or the right approach for us to use in that sense, Yahweh?
No.
Should we still attach our value only to providing financially? Because I feel like provision can come from different
Yeah, I would say
avenues
no,
as well.
because remember, I always reference the olden days, but in some parts of the country we still have the olden days.
Okay.
Yeah.
They still provide by just having a big farm, having a couple of animals that you have on your farm, and there's no monetary value on that, right? Because for them it's sustenance. They need to
Yes.
eat. They need to like kill one cow and eat for a certain number of months. For them, the money, the financial thing, isn't a big issue.
Okay.
So they still provide in the natural sense of things, right? But they still struggling as well with their mental health. So there's
Yeah.
other issues, right? The provision part is not really like
It can't
it's
be the only thing that you
yeah.
base your whole
Yeah,
value on.
exactly, yes.
As a man, try to find other
There are other things that make you
dimensions,
valuable. Yeah,
right? Such as leadership,
exactly.
such as being a leader in your household,
Yes.
your all these principles,
Yeah.
such as being a person who upholds certain standards and integrity.
Yeah.
Because I feel like as a man, it happens so naturally to us. If you are someone who comes and subscribes to certain qualities, your entire household or lineage is going to take after that.
Yeah.
Understand that if time in the limit he was up is the guy who does business. He's a hustler in our terms.
Yeah.
You find out that somehow everyone that's gonna come after, especially the boy children, are going to take after what Timer was trying to do.
Yeah.
It may not necessarily be the business, the same business that he was trying out. Can be something else. But because he has set the standard to say, okay, this is how, we here at home, we try life through this.
Yeah.
That's the bloopers. As kissing my face. Coming back to Kumani's point, that thing, there's no limit to how you can show up for the people that you love as a man. Therefore, we shouldn't base our worth and our value just on only what we can do with money. I know it's hard, James, and we're not trying to provide the answer to Lorraine. They are unrealistic. Let's be real.
We just want to explore the options that are there.
There's other things we want to attach to it. So, with that being said, I think we can just find a perfect segue here. Yaore. Now that we know we're living in this era, so digital creation, how important is self-development as a guy? Like, not thinking about it from a self-help industry where they're like, do this, do that. You know how people will be feeding us these things.
Yeah.
Just a journey and a commitment that you, as a person, as a guy, how important is that element, Yahweh? You should prioritize becoming a better version of yourself, whatever that looks like. Because I believe it looks different for each and every one of us.
It does.
As you said, we assume different roles in different people's lives, I think. So, how important is that? And if there's maybe some insights still on, you can just expand on. Peter, would you like to go?
I think the gents can take this one.
However, fit. Okay. How important is self-development in it? Sure. Especially someone who's in the gym, but in the gym, shout out. Just started, man. Sure.
Personally, I feel like self-development is something which is a very important role in a man's life, because one thing that I've noticed is that a lot of people, they don't know their worth, right? First of all, and another thing is that people nowadays let their mind control them instead of them controlling their mind. Sure. Basically, what I mean by that is that normally, if you actually view it in this perspective, right, the mind has a tactical ability over an individual. As it has that tactical advantage, it creates more things that I could basically push over. You understand? So self-development is something as a priority, because it's going to create a different mentality, which is basically what I could call a warrior mentality. Because as a gen, you have to have a warrior mentality, right? Because exactly, and because you necessarily go from expecting things just to come to you without actually trying to expand your mind. Understand?
Absolutely.
So basically, self-development is something that it's an element that if one doesn't acquire it, it creates a lot of problems, a lot of setbacks. Before that,
Yeah.
You understand? So personally, that's my take on that.
100%. Oh man,
That's my take.
Now I think like Rachel, the masculine trait or characteristic is for you to initiate.
Yeah.
Things don't happen for you. You make things happen.
Things happen.
Right.
Yep.
You have to take an action in order for you to see any reaction to it. That's low, man.
Newton's third law. Yeah.
You're working these things. That's good.
Yeah. I mean, the science and the Bible also supports that shit, right? Doesn't the Bible say? Okay, I might be paraphrasing the Bible.
Okay.
Doesn't it say God helps those who help themselves, right?
Absolutely.
So
that's the masculine energy of it.
If you help yourself, like you're gonna get, God is gonna help you through, right? Yeah. And like, if for an example, if the way we all got into this company is, there was one time though you started clicking your phone and said, you know what, this is what I'm looking for, right? And then you go through the whole process and then you wait.
Absolutely.
Is you waiting saying, okay, you know what, everything is good now, or is it you saying, "Hey, God, do something there"?
It's like you've helped your way.
You know,
You pulled your weight.
yeah.
I know
Now
you
you've done
expand.
something.
Yeah.
And
But
then
you know I need this.
Sometimes you get
exactly,
it,
you know,
but
yeah.
at least you've done something.
You've done
Yeah.
something.
The essence of what we say, Kore, do something.
Do
Put
something.
in the work, man, and then after that, maybe you
Yeah.
may not get the results exactly the way you pictured them, but definitely something has shifted.
But
You're
there will
not the
be
same person that you started that process as.
Yeah.
Definitely, whether it's a win or it's a lesson in the end, you walk away with something either way. And I think that was very important for us to really touch on. But another thing is, but the importance of community. Um, we growing up now in these spaces, and by growing up, I don't mean when we were young. Also, we're still growing up.
Yeah.
We're still evolving as individuals. But the times that we live in now have literally made us become secluded individuals.
Yeah.
It's always about my back, my. As opposed to when you look back, or you look rather at people who are doing fairly or relatively well in life, whether it's from a wealth perspective, whether it's from a health perspective, or all these other things, they're always doing these things as a community. You may want to quote your Jews and say they're killing it in the wealth creation fraternity. How are they doing it? It's because they're doing it together. They all subscribe to the same principles. They all hold each other accountable. Because why? Life is not always the same each and every day. If you're doing it alone, you are bound to succumb to other pressures on any given day. At any given day, you're going to be succumbing to that day's whatever pressures.